Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we got one of those ridiculous shows for you guys, so put on your seatbelt for this one. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Let's just get into this nonsense here. So as you guys know, the WNBA has been one of the major talking points right now in all of sports. Everyone is discussing them for one reason or the other. And one person that recently tried to weigh in, or weighed in, that weighed into the conversation is the Dan Le Batard and the Dan Le Batard show. And this morning I came across some comments from him that deeply offended me, and I personally believe exposed a larger societal issue that is taking place in the States. And these are the comments that I want to get into. Essentially, he was talking about the coverage of the WNBA, and essentially said that men who are talking about it or viewing the WNBA just need to basically sit down, shut up, and watch the games and not have any commentary, because we don't have a clue of what we're watching or what we're talking about. So those are the comments that we really want to focus on today. But before we even get to what Dan Le Batard had to say on the Dan Le Batard show, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time, who's the official sponsor of today's show. Game Time makes getting NBA Finals tickets even faster and easier than ever before. For example, I am super excited about the games between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. With Game Time tickets, I can easily pick the best tickets for me. I love that I can choose between different deals. I have the option to select the cheaper deal, the best option deal, or my favorite, the flash deal. The flash deal gives me the option to find discounts that I can only find on Game Time. Once I select the ticket I want, I can view my seat. And it's not just restricted to the NBA. I can also look for the best ticket deals for other sports like football, baseball, or concerts, or comedy or theater shows. Included in my purchase, I also have a 24-hour return guarantee, a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Dan Le Batard had to say on the show. And then we're going to come back and get into his comments. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Jessica, I want to ask you about something that I think is super unusual, because over the last 10 days, I have wanted to tell a lot of men and just a lot of people around sports, you know, we can learn here, because we're not going to pretend like we've been paying attention to the WNBA and know how to actually break down the games because we have some expertise about the players involved. We can listen to the people who have been there and not just try and create entertainment around this thing. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, I have found myself watching what's happened over just the last 10 days and been interested in this part of it, which is like, okay, we're really going to do this. We're going to make her controversial, even though there's nothing controversial about her. We're just going to dump all of the symbolism on her and have the conversation about just her. And we're kind of going to be idiots about it. So as these numbers all skyrocket, right? Because there was a game that was supposed to be played last week in a 4,000 seat stadium. They moved it, and in a half hour, they sold out a 20,000 seat stadium. As these numbers all skyrocket, and we see the discourse get dumber because a lot of men are fumbling around trying to keep up on this, what am I to do with just the smartest commentary you've heard on whether Caitlin Clark was snubbed, whether it's good to market the sport because she's super famous, or if that's a spot that needs to be earned on an Olympic team to represent our country?
So you heard what Dan Le Batard had to say there. What do I feel about what he had to say? Look, I am confused at the state of affairs in the United States right now. So American speaking to you, we'll be back in the States early next year, still trying to decide what state I want to move to. Not what state, what city. Been kind of oscillating between various states. Then my wife brought up Chicago to me. I'm like, well, Chicago was never on my list. I was thinking more Texas, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But I'm noticing a bigger issue. Do you notice how comfortable Dan Le Batard was to basically trash his male viewers by basically telling them they need to shut up, men need to shut up? If you're telling us men that we need to shut up, then why would you then even need our views? Well, I mean, we might as well not even watch. But instead, what's happening is men are being told that they need to shut up in terms of their commentary in the WNBA, but at the same time, they need to watch and support. So you want us to watch and support, but you don't want us to have a viewpoint. The question then becomes, why? Number one. Number two, do you honestly believe, this is how you can expose the hypocrisy of it, and I don't know what political groups are advocating for this madness. Do you honestly believe that if there were women sports analysts, whether they're former athletes or journalists, that were speaking on the NBA, do you honestly believe that Dan Le Batard would go on his show and say, you know, the women just need to shut up and just watch the sport because they don't play it, they don't cover it. They just need to shut up. Do you think he would do it? He would be fired. He would lose his platform. He would be deplatformed. They'll be protesting against him. He's trying to be a gatekeeper. He's trying to hold women back. But in this case, it's okay to trash men, and I think that is the new norm in the United States. It has become normalized to trash and demonize men in public. And the saddest part is you have jokers like this that go along with it. Now, I know Dan Le Batard is very popular in the sports space. We're talking about in society and as men here, beyond your power in sports. You guys are the reason that these problems exist in the United States, because you're helping to champion these ideas. That's what you're doing by going out there and saying that men just need to shut up and watch. What is that about? You know, so I did some quick research, you know, because I wanted to understand, because clearly they don't want men speaking about the WNBA. So I wanted to understand what are the fundamental differences between the WNBA and the NBA. As it turns out, there are 5 major differences. Number one is the game time. Yeah, in the NBA, quarters are 12 minutes. WNBA is 10 minutes, so there's a difference there. Another difference is the three-point line. At the top of the key, the three-point line is set at 22 feet. It's 21.75 feet from the basket. In the NBA, it's 23.7, so there's a shorter three-point line. Okay, I got that. So the games are a little bit shorter. Three-point line is a little bit shorter. The ball size is a little bit smaller. The season length, I think, is a little bit shorter. May to December, and then you have the number of teams. Essentially, those are the fundamental differences between the WNBA and the NBA. So from an intrinsic level, from a basketball level, it's basically the same thing. So you're telling me that men that have followed the NBA, that have watched the NBA for years and decades, who understand the NBA, they can comment on the NBA, but they cannot comment on the WNBA because of what? Because they're men? So if that's the case, then why are there women talking about the NBA then? This is a question I have to ask. Why is it okay for women to talk about the NBA and we don't sit up here and chastise them like this? But when men want to have a viewpoint and comment on the WNBA, they don't need to talk about it. Why? The question is why? There is no answer. It's just a bunch of pandering and virtue signaling. And to me, it's incredible that you're insulting your male viewers. I understand sports viewers are 90% of our viewership, 92% of our viewers are men. I know that. So I would be a total doofus, a dunce, to be up here then insulting the very men that watch the show. Why would I do that unless I'm a dunce? Or unless I believe that it's culturally normal for me to go out there and insult my own gender, just to sit up there and twerk it up for the ladies, because you think they're going to put some ones in your belt. Like, I don't understand what is going on here. So listen, I think the solution is simple. Don't watch. I'm already tired of it. I'm tired of it. There's too many rules and regulations of how you need to watch it, how you need to say it, how you need to say. I'm tired. These guys are doing a wonderful job of turning off their male viewers. Y'all are doing way too much. Way too much. First, you complained about there was no attention. Now there's attention. Well, I don't want this type of attention. I want this type of attention. You really got a lot of demands. You ever heard the term beggars can't be choosers? You ever heard that term? It means that if you're not in a position of power, you don't get to make demands. if you're trying to bring people and ingratiate people into your audience, you don't then get to tell them how they need to behave. You're crazy. If I'm a beggar on the street and I'm looking for some money or some food and the guy hands me a ham sandwich, I'm not going to hand it back to him and be like, you handed me a ham sandwich? I want a hot dog. He going to be like, he probably take the hamburger and slap me across. Man, get the hell out of my, you don't deserve nothing. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but the point is, you get the analogy. You get the analogy. So to me, look, I don't know what these guys are trying to accomplish, frankly. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but I'm already tired. If you feel this strongly about men and their views and they don't know, then just don't watch. It's problem solved. But I find it highly hypocritical to have men who go up there and propagate these views, but then say nothing when women watch, when women talk about sport. And I personally don't care one way or the other. As long as what you're saying makes sense, I don't care who said it. You could be saying something as long as it makes sense. I don't care who said it. And the larger question we need to get to is, why do you want these men to sit down and shut up? What is the thing that they're saying that is wrong? What's the thing? What is the thing? Because everybody that is advocating for Caitlin Clark seems to be advocating from the standpoint of, well, this is the person that's making you all the money. Not just her, but Angel Reese as well. Bringing you all the viewership, so ensure that everything's cool with her. And that is a controversial view. So we're against the league, but we're trying to help you guys generate